Diastasis recti means separation of the abs, and this is really important to know about our own body because it can influence what Pilates exercises are really beneficial for us and what Pilates exercises are going to exacerbate our separation. We can also take this information off the mat into our everyday life, such as lifting up something heavy like a big bag of dog food for my sweet puppy Rhea. We would do that with more intention and awareness if we know we have diastasis recti. So we'll be doing a simple self-assessment to see if we have separation of the abs. But before we do that, I thought a visual representation of the abs would be really helpful. I'm going to use this notebook. I'm going to open it up, and here we have right side abs, left side abs. Connecting is a binding. And even though this is longer than my actual abs are, you get the gist. We have one side and the other, and we have a structure connecting our right and left side. So we're specifically talking about the rectus abdominis right now. Rectus abdominis are also known as our six-pack abs. For some people, these are visible. For most of us, however, it's not going to be healthy or beneficial to have visible six-pack abs. Our abs are still there, and so is the linea alba. Now, the linea alba does stretch and it has some tension to it, and what can happen if too much tension is placed on the linea alba, that's when we get separation right side compared to left side. And our separation is very unique to our own bodies, which is why a self-assessment is really helpful. Now, what causes separation? Well, it could be due to pregnancy because as baby grows and develops, it's going to put more pressure on the linea alba, which is why we continue to adjust our Pilates practice, especially the further along we get in our pregnancy. Now, I've had 2 pregnancies and did not experience diastasis recti. I experienced it from surgery instead. So I have a vertical incision, or had one that's now healed, from just above my belly button, about 2 inches to about 2 inches below. And I'm still working on my diastasis recti. So we can heal diastasis recti, but that doesn't always mean it's going to go back to exactly what it was before. And there's other people who have never been pregnant, never had surgery, and they still experience diastasis recti, whether it's because of exercise, body, everyday activities that again are putting too much pressure on the linea alba. So let's get into our self-assessment now. And it's called the finger test, where our fingers, we're going to press along the belly button, I should say, below the belly button, above the belly button. Now, this is maybe hard. Relax your abdomen. We do not want to think right now, suck in, suck in, suck in. In fact, sucking in really isn't beneficial for us to do anyways. So just press all along. And right now your abs really aren't working. If you're slouching, I'm going to encourage you to come more natural curves of spine. And now we're going to get into a position where we're going to make the abs work. So let's lay onto your back on the mat. Knees can be bent, shoulders and head down to begin with. Find your belly button and again press. Press low and press high. Again, our abs aren't working right now and that's just fine. I want you to get comfortable with your squish, okay? Think like Pillsbury Doughboy, like you remember those commercials. He loved his squish. Let's love ours. We all have that. Skin, fat, it's essential. Now, keep your fingers just below the belly button, about 2 inches or so. Curl your head and chest up. You don't have to come up very high. You'll notice, oh, my abs are working just by curling up here. We don't have to tell them to work. We lift head, chest up, abs work. Notice if your finger or fingers sink down. If they are, that's separation of the abs. Lower back down. Now come to your belly button level. And again, curl up. If you notice a sinking down, I do in this position, that's diastasis recti, separation of the abs. Lower down. Come up a little higher, about 2 inches above. Curl up. Press down. Is there a sinking down? Then lower down. So why we did low right at the belly button, high, is because for some people, they have a separation more along the more length of the linea alba. For others of us, it may be isolated to one particular spot. With that self-evaluation, if you notice a sinking down in one or multiple places, or you weren't sure, I would suggest making an appointment with a physical therapist because they have additional training in this. They can take you through prescriptive exercises as well. So the more we know about our bodies, the more we tune into our sensations, the more we can work with exercises that are really going to be beneficial for us. So this is where if we just keep doing fast-paced Pilates classes and the most challenging exercises, where it can make the diastasis recti worse. We keep pulling open. There are some visual indicators of diastasis recti as well, maybe a bulging out or kind of like a pooch of the belly. I'm not talking about fat. This is something a little bit different again, or that deep sinking in sensation when we're curling up. So any of those are signs that we're going to want to adjust our Pilates practice. Think about the tortoise and the hare story. The hare just kept trying to run really fast, and who won the race in the end? It was the tortoise who went slower, progressed at a pace that was beneficial for him, and he crossed that finish line. Now, there is no finish line in Pilates, but you get the gist that we're going to focus on moving a little bit more slowly to make more progress in the long run, to have a more beneficial experience. So how do we do this? Well, if we're experiencing that gap, we want to maybe start with breathing first. Just simple act of deep breathing in, long breath out, and a long exhale is going to naturally pull the abs in towards one another. The longer that exhale is, the more you're going to, for lack of a better word, corset the abs together. But we don't want to think that we have to hold or clench anything. They'll naturally come together with the breath. In fact, just that corseting in and holding it and then feeling like it has to stay really tonic isn't going to be helpful for our diastasis recti, and definitely isn't going to be helpful for our pelvic floor either. So focus on deep breathing, your long exhale. That would be stage one. Then we want to put this into action, into movement. And there's a reason why with most Pilates exercises, and also any other exercise system as well, that on the exertion is when we exhale. So even the simple act of laying onto your back and lifting one leg up, we exhale to lift that leg up because we're working from our deep center for support, and then we have more stabilization to lift one leg up. Think about when we have both legs lifted, that's going to be even more work for our center. Or if the legs are extended, even if we're not doing a core focused exercise, we still need support from our body. So when we lift one arm out to the side, well, with no weight, it's no big deal. But once we put a weight in our hand, it's going to be much more challenging to support. And that's when we want to still try to maintain a connection to our center. Again, not the tonic hold where we have to pull and suck in, but we may need a little bit more awareness that there's an integrated aspect of our body. It's interconnected. It's not as separate as we once taught, like anatomy and movement, that when we lift the arm, it's going to work so much more than just the shoulder muscle in this example. If you know that you have diastasis recti, that separation of the abs, really take the time to slow down your Pilates practice, tune into your experiences, and as you have more awareness of what's going on in your body, you're going to be able to make adjustments with your Pilates practice, and you'll be able to increase the dial of intensity after this area is more healed. If you have diastasis recti, take time to slow down your Pilates practice, focus on deep breathing and connecting movement to breath, center body to rest to body. What also may be helpful is this video linked about the pelvic floor, because the more that we know about our body, the more informed choices we can make when we come to the Pilates mat.